Back here on NFL Now with breaking news. NFL Network's Michael Silver is reporting that the Kansas City Chiefs and the Super Bowl champion quarterback Patrick Mahomes have come to an agreement on a 10-year contract extension that could keep the Super Bowl MVP in KC through the 2031 season. Mike reporting this through a source that's informed of the deal. So let's discuss this potential deal.
Mahomes just signed for $64 million a year. Dak Prescott signed for $60 million. The gap between them is the gap between the best and everyone else. By the end of this video, you'll know which QBs are next in line and which teams are about to make a catastrophic mistake. The consensus view right now is that quarterback contracts are a simple escalators game. Next man up gets the biggest bag. But that consensus is flat out wrong. What the Kansas City Chiefs engineered with Mahomes' adjusted 7-year $448 million package isn't just a market reset. It's a structural barrier designed to trap over-leveraged franchises. With $95.55 million in fully altered guarantees, Kansas City isn't paying for past production. They are leveraging future cap inflation in a way that no other front office has successfully copied. Look closely at the board. When you look at the top-tier quarterback metrics, every other franchise is panicking over the raw average annual value. Dak Prescott pushes for $60 million. Joe Burrow and Josh Allen watch their cap hits spike past the 20% threshold of total team adjusted cap space. This is where the trap snaps shut. The Chiefs can run a cash over cap deficit because their infrastructure allows them to convert base salaries into signing bonuses year after year without destroying their 3-year roster construction window. But if you are the Dallas Cowboys, or worse, the San Francisco 49ers, looking down the barrel of a Brock Purdy extension, you cannot play this game. You lack the multi-year structural flexibility. When a mid-tier or unproven system quarterback demands Mahomes-level APY, the front office is forced to make a choice: pay the premium and accelerate your own cap hell, or execute a hard consensus flip, walk away, and draft for cost-controlled talent. The market is officially broken, and the teams trying to match this new tier without the mathematical modeling to back it up are building a fast track to a total front office purge, known as the ghost cap conversion. By utilizing a rolling structural mechanism, the Chiefs can carry massive base salaries on paper, knowing with absolute mathematical certainty that they will execute a simple salary conversion before the first day of every league year. In February, Kansas City converted $43.56 million of Patrick Mahomes' roster bonus into a prorated signing bonus. This maneuver immediately unlocks millions in short-term operating space, but it carries a hidden catch. It pushes a matching debt obligation into future void years. This creates an artificial cash over cap deficit, allowing the Chiefs to pay real money to retain a championship nucleus while maintaining a legally compliant cap number on paper. But this mechanic only works if you satisfy the 3 rules of cap architecture. First, you need a compounding championship window, meaning you must consistently pick in the late 20s or 30s of the draft and rely on veteran minimum fillings to balance out high-earning stars. Second, you must have an elite coaching infrastructure where the offensive scheme elevates cheap, day 3 draft selections into productive starters. Third, you need an absolute Tier 1 transcendent quarterback capable of masking major roster deficiencies when the cap debt inevitably catches up. If you don't check all 3 boxes, trying to mimic the Chiefs' structure is a form of franchise suicide. You are essentially borrowing high-interest money against a future where your team isn't even guaranteed to make the playoffs. Let's look at the teams attempting to play this game without the necessary architectural backing. The absolute gold standard for catastrophic cap structure is the Cleveland Browns. They lock themselves into a rigid, fully guaranteed structure that strips away any tactical flexibility. Cleveland enters the roster-building cycle carrying a projected cap hit for Deshaun Watson that balloons to an astronomical $80.70 million. When a single asset consumes nearly 31.5% of a team's total salary cap space, based on a standard cap limit, your roster construction isn't just restricted, it is completely frozen. You can no longer afford premium edge rushers, elite offensive line depth, or reliable depth targets. The front office is forced to execute desperate restructures on aging veterans just to field a legal roster, creating a multi-year loop of dead money penalties that takes half a decade to clear. High cap hits lead to desperate veteran restructures, which lead to compounding dead money liabilities and total roster stagnation. Then you have the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas allowed themselves to lose all leverage, resulting in Dak Prescott breaking the historic $60 million average annual value barrier. While the media focused heavily on the pure milestone of the $60 million figure, the true forensic failure is the $74 million immediate cap hit hitting the Cowboys' books. This contract wasn't built on a forward-looking mathematical progression, it was an act of pure desperation to avoid a complete organizational rebuild. When your quarterback accounts for a $74 million cap hit, your effective cap space plunges deep into the negatives. Look at the data. The Cowboys are operating with an effective cap space deficit of over $36 million. They are physically incapable of participating in the free agent market to address major roster holes. They cannot protect their franchise asset because they spent all their resource capital just to retain him. This is the exact definition of a consensus trap, paying elite, top-of-the-market premium dollars for a quarterback. This brings us to the alternate structural pressure point in modern FN history. The 49ers have enjoyed one of the most lucrative competitive advantages in sports, an elite, high-efficiency starter operating on a rookie contract that paid him essentially pocket change relative to his production. This hyper-inflated surplus value allowed San Francisco to build an absolute powerhouse roster, paying top-tier historic money to Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk. But that golden window has officially closed. The 49ers agreed to a massive 5-year, $265 million extension for Brock Purdy, locking him in at an average of $53 million per year. The public consensus is that this was a mandatory, no-brainer signing. The forensic reality is that the 49ers front office has just set a fuse on their own roster design. This marks a massive transition from rookie surplus center